One of the hardest things to do in your written messages is to manage your tone. That's because writing is not as rich of a channel as face-to-face communication. Your audience has fewer cues to read, and without being able to see your eye contact and your friendly smile, or hear the tone of your voice, they fill in those gaps with a voice in their head. And yet, getting your tone right is immensely important for workplace writing. A secondary aim of every message you send should be to build and maintain good working relationships. Realizing this difficulty with conveying tone, folks tend to make some common mistakes. They open with a perfunctory cliche like, "I hope this email finds you well." Or they add amplifiers and exclamation points to be sure that you know they really mean it. Thank you so much! In this video, you will learn 5 tips to better manage your tone in email so that you can remain professional, earn respect, and be thought of as a good colleague. But before we dive in, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. My colleagues and I in the Management Communication Center at the University of Florida will be posting actionable tips on workplace communication. By subscribing, you can also keep up with all the cool stuff going on at UF's Warrington College of Business. So, how do you manage your tone in email? First, be sure to be polite. Don't let urgency or haste be an excuse to cast manners to the wayside. If you have a request, ask politely and be sure to thank your colleagues. Second, be casual. There's no need to be stuffy when sending messages at work. Always prefer short, simple words and short, simple sentences. For example, in place of the overly formal, "Should you be in the need of any assistance, I would be honored to work on your behalf," try, "If you need help, let me know." Even the simple switch from assistance to help will move your tone in the right direction. Third, be personal. Andrew Carnegie said, "A person's name is to him or her the sweetest and most important sound in any language." And you want to bring that same energy to your message. To build and maintain relationships, always write your message in a way that fits your purpose and connects with your recipient. Being personal means, in part, opening with a polite salutation. "Dear John," "Hi Sarah," or even just the name, Tim, for example. Hi to all the Tims out there. These are all good openings, but you can make this opening line a more meaningful part of your message by customizing it to the context. "Thank you for meeting with me yesterday, John." "Great to see you this afternoon, Sarah." Or, "When you have a moment, Tim, can we meet to discuss email cliches?" These opening lines will help you to establish a personal connection as you lead into the content of your message. Being personal also means customizing your closings. Try to avoid ending every message with the same robotic closing. "If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. Best, Anthony." If you anticipate your reader might have questions, then be more specific. For example, if you have questions about how we arrived at these figures, let me know. If you think the odds are really good that people will have a question, then consider going back to the message and putting the answer there. And like with greetings, you should customize your closings to your audience and your message. Adopt a Rolodex of closings that you can use based on the specific situation. If you want to underscore your sincerity, for example, then you add "sincerely." If you want to convey warmth, "warm regards." If you're looking forward to that meeting, try closing with just that. "Looking forward to the meeting, Anthony." For an added personal touch, you should sign your email by typing your name below the customized closing and above your signature block. This small gesture adds a personal touch to the message. And it also helps your readers know how to address you. If I were a Tony, for example, I would sign Tony below my closing and above my signature block, which would have my full formal name. My undergraduate students all know me as Dr. Komen, and when I write to them, that's how I sign my messages. In doing so, I'm both adding a personal touch and helping my reader to reply with ease. Fourth, to control the tone of your messages, choose your words carefully. When you write, you should recognize that words have 2 kinds of meanings: their dictionary meaning and the feeling that the word evokes. Think about it. If someone pitches an idea to you and says, "I know this sounds weird," you'll likely have a different gut reaction than if they tell you that they have a unique approach. What are you dealing with in your message? Is it a problem? A concern? An issue? An opportunity? These words can be used interchangeably based on their dictionary meaning, but they convey quite different feelings about the topic. Lastly, Your fifth tip for controlling the tone of your workplace messages is to be adaptable. There are two concepts at work here. The first is something called declining formality. That is to say, when you initiate the conversation, you should default to a more formal approach. A personal greeting, a customized closing, signing your email, and a signature block. But once this email begins going back and forth, you can let the formalities fall away. Assuming you are in a one-on-one message, these emails can decline in formality to the point of being more like text messages. In other words, you adapt. The second way to be adaptable is to know your audience and meet them at their level. I have a coworker, for example, who regularly includes smileys and GIFs in her emails. While I do not default to doing so myself, and I certainly don't teach others to do so, I use both of these in my messages with her. Importantly though, being adaptable swings both ways. If your recipient prefers more formal language, reply in kind. If they're more casual, you should meet them where they are. Default to formal, wait for the reply, and adapt as you go. So there you have it. No need for cliches. No need for so many exclamation points. You can build and maintain relationships in your daily correspondence by maintaining your tone with these 5 tips. Be polite, be casual, be personal, choose your words carefully, and adapt to your reader. If these tips have worked for you, or if you have other great tips to share, let us know in the comments. And be sure to click subscribe to learn more ways to improve your workday by communicating like an expert.